We are back for another Christian review of regular books, and today we are discussing The Drowning Woman. Let's get into it. For those of you who've never seen one of these videos before, here's how it's going to go down. First, I do my regular review, what you know and love to expect from a book review, star rating, my own personal opinion, and a little bit about the book, all without spoiling it. But then I get into my Christian review, and that's where I go over the basic pieces of a book that may or may not have a fellow believer or anyone wanting to read it. I give more caveats and any more information you may need about these reviews at the video that's pinned at the top of the playlist. Or you should be able to click here somewhere. However, if you're still here, let's go ahead and get into my regular review. The Drowning Woman is about the main character who finds herself living out of her car, just trying to make ends meet, trying to survive, and struggling to do all of the things. And one day when she's parked in her car, she sees a woman throw herself into the lake, and she goes in after her, saves her, and the rest of it is all the suspense. Now, I really enjoyed this story. I could not put it down. I was flying through the story the whole time and really wanted to know what was going to happen, how it was going to happen. I was very intrigued by the storyline, the characters, and all of those things. They're kind of unlikable characters. They make poor choices, and it's one of those kind of grungy thrillers where it's not fast-paced in the way that you're like, oh my gosh, yes, every single moment, but at the same time, you want to know what's happening, even though the characters are like dirty and kind of gross. I don't know how else to explain it, but if you read it, tell me if I'm right, okay? Let me know in the comments. Anyhow, I really enjoyed this book. I had a fun time with it. I did read through it very quickly. One of the things about the book that I didn't love as much is that I was able to figure out where it was going to go fairly early on, and I was right for the most part. There were a few surprise elements to the ending twist, but it wasn't significant, and to be honest, I can't tell if that was the author's intention or if it was a bit of a surprise for the author because their hope was that people wouldn't figure it out. I will also say that the book felt unrealistic in some parts and was very realistic in other parts, and I really think I enjoyed the story, even though some of these things were noticeable to me in the writing. And ultimately, I rated it 4.5 stars. If you want to see everything that I'm reading and rating in real time, you can do so by following me on Goodreads. You can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, and I do have my own YouTube channel, so if you want to see more of my life and reading journey, check the links down below. Now let's go ahead and get into my Christian review. The first category I always love to touch on is smut or spice. And yes, there was spice throughout this book. They weren't extensive pages, however, they do play an important role to the overall story, and there's conversations that follow after the spice scenes themselves, which are a bit essential. So although you could skip past the initial scene, you need to know that that scene happened, and so it's not as easy to skip past as like it adds nothing to the plot and you can just completely remove it. The second category is explicit language. There is a few words here and there. It's not substantial, but it exists. The third category is violence and gore. And again, I think I was a bit surprised at like how much there was in the violence category. There's two big scenes that are both violent and gory, but there's a lot of other things that happen throughout the course of the book that edge a little bit more on the violent and gory side. This book would probably be great for someone 16 and up. Again, I think even just the book style, but additionally, I think the spice and the violence and gore are why I'd say that. It was a fun read. It was a fun read, but definitely a more mature read. Before you go, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can stay up to date on all of our Christian reviews of regular books, plus me and my mom's podcast, The Journey We Share. On top of you staying up to date, it helps us know that the content we're providing is content you want to keep seeing. And since we're a nonprofit, it's like a free way to donate to our ministry. So before you go, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, and maybe even comment. And I cannot wait until we see you on the next one.